Now, you know that feeling, don't you? You've on 8% battery.
Oh, the
You're
clock ticking
cursing
down.
yourself, or you've forgotten to charge it overnight.
Talking about your smartphone
Yeah,
here.
like I've forgotten to do plenty of times, woken up and thought, I'm on red, I'm on the red bar.
Uh-oh.
Yep, and
No
you
updating your Facebook status when that
no,
happens.
and you need to plug it in somewhere. So, so there's a lot of those. There's a few now, those charging stations around the place that you can plug your phones into.
Well, even on public transport, on buses, for instance.
Great idea.
See them in libraries, universities. At the airport, there's a whole heap of these little charging stations as well for your mobile phone.
Have you ever thought, though, when you're in the mad rush to charge your phone, should you use it or should you be a bit cautious?
Well, you just go, I need the juice. I need the battery juice.
Well, unfortunately, cyber criminals have a sinister way to get your information, and it all stems from that tiny USB port. It's called juice jacking. Have you heard about it?
I haven't. So here to explain more is Dr. Ritesh Chugh, a researcher with the CQ University. Ritesh, this is almost a word of warning for us. What's happening?
Good morning, Craig and Loretta. Well, unfortunately, cyber criminals have come up with a new way to steal your data.
Oh, this is not the way we want to start a Monday. Goodness.
So, Loretta, if you run out of juice, don't use public power charging, USB power charging stations to start with.
Why not, Ritesh?
Juice jacking is also known as the USB charger scam. So what happens in juice jacking is it's a type of cyber attack in which the attackers use publicly accessible USB charging ports. And through those charging ports, they can install malicious software onto your phones. So it actually works in two steps. In the first step, the cyber criminals tamper the charging station, install malware or malicious software on them. And secondly, through those tampered charging stations, when you plug in your phone, it transfers the malicious software onto your phone. Now, that malicious software can disable your phone, it can steal data from your phone, and also spy on your users.
Will I be able to recognise that malicious data has been put there?
No, unfortunately, it is very difficult to identify. Hacked devices often go unidentified or undetected. However, there are some signs that I'd encourage you and your listeners to watch out for, Loretta. So what you might notice is that your phone or mobile device, which could be a tablet as well, is operating slower than usual. You might notice that it has started or it starts to restart automatically on its own. You might also notice an increase in battery consumption, or also your phone tends to heat a lot. The apps that you have on your phone could be frequently crashing, and you might also observe changes to the settings on your phones. And finally, there could also be an increase in data usage. So remember, all of this, Loretta, is happening in the background.
Yes.
So you have to look for these telltale signs to identify if your phone's actually being hacked.
And what do we do then if we see those signs?
Look, first thing is please stay away from USB power charging stations like the plague. Just stay away. Secondly, rely on your conventional, traditional wall plug-in AC chargers, your usual power chargers. You can also, the other thing, it's not just the USB power ports that can be tampered, even cables can be tampered. So use your own charging cable and charging adapter. Don't borrow it from anyone.
Ritesh, there are so many people at airports, so they're travelling and you see them sitting down all the time and they're using their phones and plugging them in. So you're saying the ones at the airports aren't safe?
Look, it's very difficult to tell if the USB chargers at public places such as airports, shopping malls have been tampered. But there are chances, and there have been demonstrations and proofs by researchers worldwide that shows that these devices can be tampered.
So just quickly, what can you do if it's already happened to you?
Loretta, just one more thing. You were talking about airports. I'd suggest please carry your own portable battery power bank.
Yep.
Now, to answer your question, if if you suspect your mobile device has been juice-jacked, firstly, monitor for unusual activity, install antivirus software. If you still feel, I was talking to someone yesterday, my suggestion is restore your phone back to its initial factory settings. And if there are apps that on your phone that you don't recall installing, delete them. And always update your phone software whenever your provider sends out an update.
And that's a really good point. So then closes back doors into different security settings and all those sorts of things. Ritesh, some good advice for us and a word of warning as well, because these little charging ports, they're popping up everywhere, from buses through to airports, libraries, whole heap of public spaces, food courts and the like. Thanks for joining us this morning.
Yep. Thanks for having me, Craig and Loretta.
Dr. Ritesh Chugh, researcher with CQ University.